Hi, this is Britt Carpenter with Be a Voice on Usula Radio. The goal of Be a Voice is to bring awareness on critical topics affecting our communities and to bridge the gaps between them. Thanks for joining us.
Welcome, everybody, to Be a Voice. This is Britt Carpenter on Usula Radio. I am really excited to be here today. I'm excited to be here every day, but this is an amazing day because this is the first show of the new decade. This is going to be our first show of 2020, and what a long way we've come. This has been one of the most interesting rides I've ever taken. To be able to sit here each week after week, and to chat with people about just whatever, not just, about certain topics. It's about whatever. And I don't get a chance sometimes to do that. And it's brought me a lot of joy over the last year or so here. And I'm really thankful for everybody who tunes in each and every week and listens to me and hears my guests and learns from my guests. He gets educated about the human side of people. I mean, I've had people on my show that range from media figures, that range to political figures, that range to, people that are influential in many different ways, to just everyday people in the community doing really good and positive things, making a difference, trying to bring cohesion. And what other person couldn't love doing that job but me? And I am thankful to everybody. So for everybody, I hope you just go into 2020 with an amazing attitude, a new perspective, and be really thankful for where you are and for what you have. And if you aren't thankful for where you are and what you have, I really hope that you find it in 2020 to find that thanks, to find that gratefulness, because you know what? It's worth it. You deserve it. And here we are. Here we are today. I'm sitting here today. I got my man Johan behind the glass there. Hey, Johan, how are you doing, buddy? He waves. He says hello to everybody. Johan was giving me a little bit of hassle before. We were talking prior to the start of the show, and we were discussing, changing names. And, I said, you know what, I'm maybe a little bit fed up with Britt Carpenter, and we'll change that name, but that might be for another point in time. What do you think, Johan? Bruce Springsteen is already taken. I can't take that one. So, no. All right, we'll find another one. Johan will find that for me. But everybody, I hope you had a really safe holiday. I hope you're enjoying the new year so far, because I am about to embark on my first show, and I am sitting here with a gentleman that I had connected with in 2019, or interestingly enough, he connected with me in 2019, which sort of took me by surprise because I didn't really know him. I had no idea, what was happening there or why he was reaching out. And as most of you know, I filmed a docuseries in 2018 that dealt with the opioid epidemic and the crisis affecting our communities here in Philadelphia, let alone right here in Kensington. And it was a 5-series docuseries that really showed the human side to this crisis, to this epidemic that has taken our nation, that is actually destroying our nation. It's killing our nation. And I was very fortunate because I was able to tell my story. I was able to tell the stories of some other people in the community. I was able to do it my way. I was able to do it and put a human side to it and put a twist to it and be able to have people really just want to see what happened episode after episode. And little did I know it would become a hit. And it became a hit. We've won several awards at this point in time, an Associates Press Award. We taken 4th place in the International Association of Broadcasters Award in London. We're up for other awards. We're up for the Columbia School of Journalism Award or Broadcasting. I don't even know so many of these, what they're called, because I'm not an actor. I'm not a media person. I'm just a regular person with a radio show who gets to talk with people that are really cool. But with that being said, I get reached out to a lot by people because of the series. People see the series on YouTube. They reach out. They want to thank me for what I'm doing. They want to be a part of what I'm doing. They want to tell me that they're, they have a brother, a sister, a mother, a father, a somebody. There's someone that they know that's been affected by this. They want to just have a little bit of connection and say thank you. And it's amazing because to me, that's all the encouragement I need to continue to do what I do. But the gentleman I'm sitting here with today reached out to me a while ago, and he was the first person to ever reach out to me about something that I was pretty taken by. It was a gentleman that is sitting here with me. I am sitting here with Jimmy Saia. Right, Jimmy?
Yes, that's right, Brett. How are you today?
I'm doing really well.
Good.
It was a long-winded intro for me.
No, it's
But I wanted to welcome the listeners into 2020 because
course.
2019 is behind us.
Right.
And it's interesting. Everybody always says, Jimmy, put 2019 behind. People said in 2018, we're going to put 2018 behind.
Right.
And it's like, I'm thinking to myself, are the years really that bad?
No.
No.
No, not at all. Not because things that you do and things I tell people, generally speaking, you should be thankful. Looking back on the year, there's things that happen, the things that occur, but you should just be thankful. That way it can drive you further into the future.
Absolutely. I agree. I love that. You should be thankful because it could drive you further into the future. I love it. Johan likes it too. When I see his eyes light up like that back there, I know he likes it. Nice, nice. And it's interesting because you get that from a lot of people. People are like, I'm going to start 2020 out on the right foot.
Right.
You should start every day out on the right foot.
Absolutely. I was telling my family the other day, they were asking about New Year's resolutions. Like, what are you going to do? What's your New Year's resolution? I said, there shouldn't be a New Year's resolution. You should work on what you have all year long.
Absolutely.
Start it when you want to, not on New Year's, because most resolutions are broken anyway.
You set yourself up for failure with a resolution.
Absolutely.
Oh, my gosh.
No doubt. No doubt.
Have you ever made a New Year's resolution in your life?
I have. I haven't probably broken every single one of them after a few days or weeks.
You know what the funny thing is? I can't remember ever saying this was my New Year's resolution because I didn't want to set myself up for failure.
Right. That's right.
I do that enough the other days of the year. Why should I have one special day?
Right. You make these resolutions that are only going to get broken. So, I know that people have good intentions for the resolutions as well as I did, but if it's not practical, it's not going to be a resolution. It's something, everybody's a work in progress. You got to just keep on going.
I love that. When somebody says something to me, what's wrong with you? I'm going to respond, I'm a work in progress.
Aren't we all?
Keep going. No.
Aren't we all? Absolutely.
I got to write these down. These are two good things so far in this short time we're chatting.
Cool.
But, Jimmy, you reached out to me because you saw the docuseries.
Yes.
Oh. How did you come across the docuseries?
It was amazing.
Thank you.
Well, what happened was channel surfing and on YouTube and a lot of different things. Like anyone, I want to discover different things. And one of the things that I discovered was your show, and which was Philly Unknown, correct? Yeah. And I was amazed, first of all, how spectacular the videography is. It did not look like someone got a video camera and was following you around. That was the first thing, the media resolution of how it was all presented. But then I got into it because of the work that you do. And that just amazed me of how nose to nose, toes to toes you are with people in need and how you reached out to them. And as you said, you weren't even looking for any type of fame or fortune. The production company came to you and presented this.
Yeah, it was interesting because, I don't do what I do on the streets with my outreach and my ministry and my mission because I want a photo op because, that's not who I am.
Right.
I do it because I want to spread awareness. I want to save lives. I want some harm reduction going on. And so, and it's really great. So thank you for recognizing that.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. That's the thing, that people have to realize that, the monetary value and everything is not always the most important thing in the world. It's the love and attention that we put towards fellow man and the investment to their future. Everybody needs help somewhere, and I think, first of all, Brett, it was great that you reached out and you're helping people the way that you do.
Thank you.
It really was amazing to me. It actually inspired me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, that means more to me than anything because when I set out with the premise of agreeing to do the docuseries with Voice of America, and Voice of America, of course, is a government-funded media outlet, but they produced it. They did the camera. Two of the producers were on the streets with me doing the camera work.
Right. How did they discover you?
They discovered me. We were at it was the eviction, the first eviction, and I was there, and we had a little bit of an interaction, and then we interacted a little more and connected, and all of a sudden pieces just fell into place, and it's been a good ride because they became family. They're really amazing people.
When you say first eviction, what does that
the eviction
mean?
of the encampments here in Kensington?
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. Right, because that was filmed as well.
Yeah, so if you watch the first episode of the series, you'll see my face in a crowd, and they say about advocates, and then they showed my face, And it's interesting because I wasn't even engaged with the producers at that point in time. Never even knew who they were. They had just found me like that.
They were just following you around. Then.
Yeah, and it became it became a thing, and it became a positive thing.
Yeah.
And we were able to be a voice for those who weren't a voice for themselves, and peel some layers back and show the human side to what's going on out there. So
Right.
you're channel surfing on YouTube,
Yep.
Jimmy,
Right.
and why stop at this one? Why something on the opioid epidemic, and why about Kensington? Why that one?
Well, I'll tell you what happened was, as a musician and being a musician for my whole life, it's like the type of thing that you're attracted to. It's, as my music professor used to say, it's what we do, and people do what they do best. And one of the things I feel that I do best, or at least I'm most interested in, is music and composing music and being a retired teacher, working with different schools and that type of thing, being a band director. You never forget music. You're just constantly absorbed into it. And so what I was doing was, as I was channel surfing...
You were criticizing the score of the docuseries, how lousy that music was, weren't you?
Not at all. Not at all, Brett. No, not at all, Brett. Anyway, no, I wasn't. It was
Didn't
nice.
put you on the spot
I'll put
with
it
that
this
one.
way: it was a nice background, but I think
There we go.
that you need something more integral. And so I was channel surfing, and I came across some guy, an African American guy, was talking about the opioid epidemic, ARAB, or something like that, and he was saying that. Especially in just different parts of Philadelphia, and then he mentioned Kensington, and he said, people do opioids, heroin, everything else, it's actually a drug mecca, as I understand. People from all over the country come there, which is a shame when you think about it. It's just very, very sad. And so I happened to just go on YouTube, and I saw it. As I said, Philly Unknown, I think it's called, correct?
Well, the docuseries itself is called The Damage Done.
The Damage Done,
Philly
right.
Unknown is my nonprofit that
that's
I
your
run and
nonprofit.
operate.
Okay.
So it's The Damage Done. The Unwanted is the Philadelphia version.
The
so,
Unwanted,
Yes, yeah.
So
But Philly Unknown is a nonprofit.
And that's what I saw. And as I said, videography-wise, it just, wow, it was just spectacular because, as I said, it wasn't a video camera walking around showing different footages or whatever. It was an integral part of what you do. And so I was just attracted to that, and it actually inspired me, and it inspired me to write songs, and a couple songs came from it. Not that I have firsthand knowledge of this type of thing, but I think more needs to be said, especially in music, because people do listen to music, and nowadays a lot of music is so darn repetitive, and it's the same thing over and over again, and some of it is a lot of nonsense, but I do songs that have some meaning, that are catchy as well. So I think I wanted to present a song to you, and which I did a few months ago, and I think that you liked it. So
And it's interesting. Yeah, I got the email from you,
Right.
And it takes me time to respond to emails because I also have my business that I run, and I try to have a
Sure.
life, and I try to balance it. And
Yeah.
it was interesting because you're like, I wrote a song, and I was like, what? I'm like, who is this dude? What's going on here? And because I get a lot of different people saying different things and asking different things, and
Right.
and I was intrigued. I was like, well, a little bit more, and then you and I connected a little bit more, and you wrote this song, Jimmy. You wrote this song that I actually think of it more like more of a ballad type song. That's my job. That's what I think of. Different for you.
It's interpretive.
It's
Sure.
interpretive for sure, but it's me. That's what I think of when I hear it.
Yeah.
But this song is actually a song that you wrote because you saw the connection between Kelly and myself.
That's right. That's right. More specifically, that's right. What happened was, when I delved into the series a little bit further, I noticed that you were making integral connections with people, and especially this one lady named Kelly, where you had set her up to an apartment and a lot of things for success. I'm not sure where she is today.
She's still in the apartment.
Is
She's-
she
yeah,
really?
Yeah, just
That is,
communicated with her
oh
before we
my
walked
goodness,
in.
that is fantastic.
Oh yeah, she's great.
That
She looks
is-
good.
That is great.
She looks good. She's Kelly.
Yeah.
She's Kelly, but a little bit sharper now, and that scares me sometimes. But
No, that's
she's
good, man.
awesome. She's doing well.
Right, and so I think it was the moment that probably, and it's hard to put your finger on inspiration, but that inspirational moment, I remember you were sitting down with her, and it was outside, and you were sitting like on a stone wall or something to that effect, and you were talking to her and asking her how she was doing and how she's going to make it. But what really, Brett, what really struck me was the fact that how you wanted to do this. That it wasn't just something you get paid to do, that you're not part of an organization that does this or anything like that. You just did it. And that really inspired me to write a song. And that's how it goes.
Wow, you just sort of
man.
left me a little speechless, which is hard for me because I'm a talker. So,
No, it did.
And this song is called which song?
It's called "Won't Give Up on You."
Won't Give Up on You, and this is all inspired because of the connection you saw that I had with Kelly.
That's correct. That's correct. And it developed. It wasn't something that just hit me in the words, and music and everything else came. But and I didn't want to mention her name or your name because I wanted to make it more of a universal message. That hopefully people can relate to that are going through this struggle or know someone that's going through this struggle.
I got to tell you, well, number one, I've never had anybody write a song in reference to anything I've done other than when I was younger and they sang Britt the Brat to me, and that was my parents.
How does that go?
Almost like Felix the Cat, but the Britt the Brat.
Okay. Right. Okay.
But
we are showing our age.
Yeah, absolutely, we are. Yeah. No, I'm talking reruns. No, but no, I'm joking. But and then you sent me the sound clips of the song, and then
an excerpt from it. Right?
Yeah, you sent me an excerpt from the song, and you even said share it with people, get their feedback, and I posted on my social media, and the feedback was so amazing, so positive.
I'm
people
glad to hear that.
Were just like head over heels about it, and
good.
How long did it take you to write this song?
Well, songs usually. There's different components to a song, and usually the hook comes to me first almost with every song that I write. And the hook is the part that's the repetitive part that hopefully sticks in your mind. And that usually comes first. And I noticed as you were speaking with Kelly that, and everybody, there were not only Kelly, but the other people that you were speaking with as well who were going through this crisis. The feeling that I got is that you were doing this matter-of-factly. You weren't giving up on them. So I thought, especially with Kelly, I noticed because as I said, you had helped her get housing and food and it seemed like a lot of things you set her up with. I just said, this guy...
she was getting off the street, she was getting off the street, that was for sure.
Okay.
She was getting off that street,
Why? Well, why her then? Let me ask you this before I give you more information.
There was a connection that I had made with her a few weeks prior when she had just been released from jail, and I had made a connection with her on the street, talking about art and using artist therapy and how we think about that, the arts like art and music and things like that are a dying aspect of therapy out there today, and how we had this wonderfully in tune and vibe conversation, and so when I was able to connect with her again about it, she's just one of many, but she's one that she actually used to tell people that I was like a big brother and called me a pain in the, and I can't say they'll bleep me out, but we had that connection. Well, that's why.
That's a good connection because it shows that you wouldn't give up on her, that you kept forging ahead, and that you kept moving, and it really did. I get inspired from so many things, and good, bad, indifferent, whatever. But this was a definite positive thing in the right, and still is in the right direction. And so I saw that you wouldn't give up on people in general, and more specifically to make it more personalized, I just called it "Won't Give Up on You."
And I love it. And what we're going to do is we're going to go off to our first break. And as we do, we're going to play Won't Give Up on You for our listeners. So when we come back, we'll talk a little bit about that. But everybody out there, stay tuned. Listen to Jimmy Sai's song that he wrote for. It's called Won't Give Up on You. And we'll be back in a few minutes. This is Britt Carpenter with Be a Voice. Chat with you shortly.
1, 2, 3, 4. Hey girl, when I met you, girl, you ain't had nothing new. Just living your life and struggle and strife, trying to make it through. Dropping those P's from Dr. D, said, where'd you get the cash? Sooner or later, it's bound to happen, you're gonna crash. Give up on you, no matter what you do, we're gonna see it through, that's what we're gonna do. Won't give up on love, or say that it's over, look over your shoulder, I'll be there for you, won't give up on you. This just can't go on and hope for something new. The change, it has to come and it must start with you. Better days are just ahead, just you wait and see. Living life is paradise if you just believe. Won't give up on you, no matter what you do. We're gonna see it through, that's what we're gonna do. Won't give up on love, or say that it's over. Look over your shoulder, and I'll be there for you. Won't give up on you. There's gonna be a brighter day, girl. Just hold on tight and understand. It's all about the journey's end, girl. Just take my hand, take my hand, oh. Live life day to day and start with something new. Just keep moving along and you will make it through. Don't forget what I said about the things you've done. You can make it work and it won't be long. On you, no matter what you do, we're gonna see it through. That's what we're gonna do. Won't give up on love, say that it's over. Look over your shoulders, I'll be there for you. Won't give up on you.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Britt Carpenter with Be a Voice. You just got done listening to Won't Give Up on You by Jimmy Saia. Jimmy, that was amazing, Jimmy.
Thank you, Britt.
Oh,
Thank
you're
you,
welcome. Sir. You're welcome. Jimmy, thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, this song, was inspired because you watched the docuseries and you saw the connection between Kelly and I. And, I'm sitting here right now with the lyrics in my hand, the sheet
Right.
music. And some of these words are just amazing. It's just how you just, develop some of them. And I want to sort of go straight down to the bridge.
Sure.
It says, there's going to be a brighter day, girl. Just hold on tight and understand. It's all about the journey's end. Girl, just take my hand.
Yeah.
Take my hand.
Right.
That line in itself, that bridge, is such a positive twist on where she was coming from.
Right. And I meant it, too, because not only watching you, but just generally, that's what people need. They need someone to take their hand, as long as they're willing to give their hand and follow through with that commitment. To me, the reward is, of course, the journey's end. And what I really, the thing that is the hopeful inspiration is that you're taking her hand. And I mean that executively speaking.
There's some days I wrung her neck a little bit, but
yeah, that part I didn't know. I only saw the positive part of it. In the series. But still, Brett. But you still took the bull by the horns. You took her hand. Listen, everybody has to understand. If there's not anyone like Britt out there, that things are not going to change. The police are just going to kick them off the area, and they're going to go somewhere else. And it's going to take somebody like Britt and other people like that take their hands and then lead them in the right direction. And it's a joint connection between the giver and the taker in a positive fashion. And you have to just keep on moving in that direction. obviously it's harder, I think. And you said you were going to wring her neck or whatever, and I don't know that
No,
part.
that's like
but
the
I'm,
brother-sister
I'm-
relationship. You know?
Oh yeah, right.
I tease, you know. I'm not really, but I mean,
I'm sure
there,
of it.
there were times. I mean,
My
we
goodness,
went through a
yeah.
lot. I mean, there was a
Right.
lot that you've seen. You know, there was times like even with Eric in the videos that you saw
Eric, oh my goodness, Eric,
you
yeah.
saw like the little bit of the sarcasm come out of me and
Yeah.
say it, but like you know, you have to do that with them because you know you can't coddle. You got to treat
No,
them. You got to meet them
tough
where they're
love.
at. But you know, it's you know, at the end of the day, we're all the same.
Right. It's tough love. They just moved in the wrong direction. You're just giving her the right direction to move into. What I was going to also say, Britt, is that it's difficult for everybody. Certainly is. Why you do it, most people wouldn't understand it. They would not comprehend it.
My mother has zero understanding.
Right. It's too much hassle. Why would you want to put yourself through all that trouble to help someone? Well, I can't even answer that for you. I'm not even sure if you can give me a definitive answer. All I know is that you are helping them move in the right direction because of the police. And yes, they're going to do what they can without disruption, but they're in the way. The police think a lot of times, you know, they're blocking the area. Yes, they are. Yes, they're vagrants. Yes, they're everything people think they are. But if they're not going to change it, it's the toughest on them because they are the people that are going through it. They're experiencing it. Brett said he wanted to wring her neck, and I'm sure he did. But that's tough love for you. That's the type of thing where you move her, and if she helps move in that direction, then everybody's
And I say
happy.
that with all the love of my heart for her. Of course,
Yeah,
you know what
of
I mean? It's like
course.
having a child sometimes, you know.
Right.
So Jimmy, you are
Okay.
a retired teacher.
Yes, I am, sir.
Music teacher.
I am, yeah.
And you know, it's a shame because you know the arts and music in school, it's a dying
It is.
form.
Oh, it really is. In fact, I think I've worked at a dozen different school districts. I finally
Really?
retired in Philadelphia, but yeah, you name the school district I probably worked at. Everything, suburbs, Philadelphia.
So you're a local
because, well, local and not local because I live in the suburbs now. And when my father was many years ago transferred to the Valley Forge Army Hospital, anyone knows that name? That's in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania, Valley Forge area. That's the school district I went to, graduated, became a music teacher, and moved all over the place being an Army brat.
Really?
Oh, yeah. My father was in the service, and I was born in Germany as a
Okay.
result of it. Yes.
So do you have dual citizenship?
I do. Yes, I have dual
Wow,
citizenship.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Very
Bad
cool.
Kreuznach, Germany.
Ah.
Yeah.
Can you speak German at all?
I'm not at all. No. I know some.
So no
I'm
chance of
Italian
that hearing this in
heritage and
German,
only know
right?
some choice Italian words.
Oh, I know
that
some.
you don't want to hear.
My mother's Italian. I know some choice ones.
Okay.
The ones you don't want to hear either. That we would get in trouble for. The FCC would definitely not be thrilled about that.
No. So moving all around and getting my music degree, and I actually have 2 degrees, one in music therapy, which is using music as a therapeutic tool, which would probably, maybe that shows in my songwriting, because when I write songs, I try not to get too goofy or whatever, and I want to make them catchy as well, but with meaning. So, as I like to say to the guy that helps me, he does my technician that does all the sound engineering and the recording and all that. I tell him my songs have a twist to them. So most of the songs are predictable, but with a twist. And hopefully, the song Won't Give Up on You and the other songs that I write provide that for them. And that's what I love to do. It just comes out most of the time. The hook comes out first, which is the memorable part of the song.
That's like John Popper. The hook brings you back.
Yeah, it does. That's the harmonica player talking, John Popper. Yeah,
Yeah, Blues Travelers.
Blues Travelers.
Yeah,
I
his
didn't know
song,
he
The
said
Hook.
that.
The song is called The Hook.
Oh, the hook. All right.
The hook
Oh.
brings you. I can't
Oh,
sing.
yeah,
Don't
okay.
ask me to sing. Don't ask me to sing.
Well,
The
I'm
only
glad
reason
you're
I'm-
doing what you're doing then,
Well,
Brett.
yeah, me too, because my dad always said I had the perfect face for radio, so this works out so well. This works out so well.
Yeah, it does.
You know,
Yeah.
so
Well, you're doing a good job.
well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You know, and it's interesting because, you know, you wrote this song
Yes.
in reference to, you know, the opioid crisis going on out there. And, you know, you're in the suburbs and it's
Yeah.
no area is discriminated.
No,
to. It's all
drugs,
affected
no
somewhere.
sex, or they don't discriminate.
No, not at all. Has this epidemic hit close to home to you at all?
I heard that it has because I have 5 children, And when
Oh,
they
wow.
when they were going to school and the local high school, they would tell me about the epidemic that was happening there. And that's the thing about drugs. They just don't care. They'll rich or poor, black, white, doesn't matter. They'll get you if you let them.
Absolutely.
And they
Absolutely.
take over. One of the things I think that a lot of people don't understand is, especially the people that don't really care too much about the drug crisis, is that, well, druggies, they're druggies. They can change anytime they want. They choose that lifestyle. This is the type of thing they're doing because they want to do it. Well, they may have in the very beginning, but then the drug takes over. Mm-hmm. And as the drug takes over, they become chemically dependent. And with that dependency, leads to devastation and destruction. It just ruins their life.
And I think that's part of the stigma. I think what happens is
Yeah.
people aren't educated on it. They don't understand that most people that do drugs or have some type of disorder when it comes to using them. It started prior to that. It's a trauma that started prior to that, and so I think it's like just by getting the word out there, breaking the stigma, getting the right verbiage, being able to open yourself up and do something like write this amazing song.
Oh, thank you, Britt.
Which I'm just like in awe by. This song is still just I listen to it, I
cool.
still like get happy and it just chills just
Yeah,
because
I
I know.
I want it to be a positive type of thing.
And it is. It's a real positive
Yeah.
song.
Well, with people like you and people that actually have an earnest feeling and interest in people and humankind will hopefully they take their own path, certainly, to make sure that they're helping people as well as keeping their sanity at the same time, because that's very difficult because it takes a lot out of you, I'm sure.
So you're a musician.
Yeah,
What?
man.
A guitar.
Yeah, guitar. So basically, I'm sorry, I keep going back to the song.
Don't be
but
sorry. I'm going to go. I can peel layers back. We can go back to the song, but I want to.
Okay.
I want to know about you. You
Okay,
got
yeah.
the guitar.
Sure, yeah. My main instrument is actually percussion, drums.
Oh.
So most of my songs, and I've written like about 40 different songs,
Okay, that was a
come
good
from a
question. See?
percussive type of perspective. And actually, what happened was the impetus, of course, was won't give up on you. And I went to a vacation a few months prior, and with my family, we went to Mexico, and there's a lot of Latin rhythms going on, a lot of Latin percussion. Of course, it's unavoidable when you're walking through the streets, which is a good thing because I love it. And this beat, and then all of a sudden it really did hit me, Britt. Won't give up on you, don't matter what you do. And I didn't have any words, but I was like, wow, that goes together. That the word, the melody, the rhythm. I'm here in Mexico. I got to write it down.
That's awesome. So you're on vacation and you just heard this rhythm?
Absolutely,
And
yeah.
just to see you get into it now.
Yeah.
Is that way a lot of your music starts?
It is. It's from a percussive standpoint.
You hear that.
Yeah.
And
I hear the beat first, the percussion, whether it's a drum beat or in this case, it was like more like timbales and conga drums and a lot of things going on.
now I really understand the whole music.
But it
musical
fits.
composition.
It's like
Yes.
a Latin type of feel,
Yeah.
but won't give up on you. And,
Oh, this is so cool.
Yeah. It's a little
How long did it take you to
quirky.
write this?
It took me several months.
Several months for this one song.
It did. Oh, most of them do because
Okay.
even though the hook comes first, as I said, walking the streets of Mexico and hearing this, won't give up on you, and I'm sitting there thinking that, well, I didn't have any verses down at all. And as I said, I wanted to make it more universal. And, if I had said Kelly or Britt or something like that,
it wouldn't fit.
it would fit, it might fit, but it would fit for you and Kelly.
Not
it
for
wouldn't fit
everybody
for
else.
Everybody else, right? So I try to write songs from a universal standpoint, simple, universal, and with a twist. Yeah.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. That's awesome. That makes it even cooler to know the background, the origin of the
Right,
song, and where it's come from.
and that's exactly what happened. Yeah, and so I had my little tape recorder and humming into it and sitting around poolside and came up with some chords and I let my family hear it, and most of them liked it. And they're like, "Where's this going?" They didn't know, but yeah. So it developed from there, and I had to get some verses down and a bridge, and like a typical. If you listen to Beatles, their type of stuff, their song formats, the early days are kind of the same, where they have an introduction, they have their verses, it goes into that hook, that real strong hook. They have great harmonies, and then it develops into a bridge or whatever, which is the part that you had mentioned about the journey's end and take my hand.
Love it.
And all that. Oh, that of course is the middle part of the song, the bridge, called the bridge because it bridges the two parts together from you generally speaking the chorus to the next verse, and so that's basically what I do, and I come from a Beatles songwriting perspective.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Not that I try to sound like the Beatles, but they do inspire me. I mean, I'm old enough to remember when they came on the Ed Sullivan Show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I think the Ed Sullivan Show was maybe just on its way out when I was being born.
Oh, okay.
Not quite
Well, you're a
sure.
lot younger than I am. Brett.
Yeah, this is great. This
Yeah,
is
man.
the mind of Jimmy Saia and how you wrote this song.
Yeah, most of
so
the
now
songs
it makes
are
so
written
much.
that way.
40 songs.
At least 40,
At least
yeah.
40 songs.
At least 40 songs.
Are your
right.
songs anywhere out there people could hear them?
They are. Well, I'm just starting to. I'm a late bloomer when it comes to recording stuff because I was so involved in teaching, music teaching, just basic music skills
Do you
and
miss teaching?
fundamentals. Excuse me, I do. Oh, I still sub.
Oh,
So
you
yeah, I
do?
still substitute. Yeah, I
Oh.
love doing that. And so my songs come from that perspective where they're always catchy with a little twist and I try to make them not real silly and hopefully people like them. But that's what I do.
Is your wife a fan of your music?
No, she is not.
I knew that.
She is not.
When you said some of them, I knew your wife was.
That
one of
was
them.
it. I didn't want to
knew it.
mention that,
I could
but
tell. I could
no.
hear you said that.
No.
But that's okay. There's a balance. there, then.
Every time I play a song for her in the very beginning, she says, "That sucks." So she's my inspiration. Maybe she's my journey's end girl. I don't know.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And the kids, you have 5 kids.
I do have 5 children and
Grandchildren?
3 of them. No, not yet. My eldest did get married though. She just
Okay.
got married. Yeah, it was great and loved. I did perform at her wedding. I played an original song.
And that was in October, right?
It was in October called, and I wrote a song for them called "Because of You," and
That's so awesome.
it's all in the title, "Because of You," inspiration, and we get it good and bad from everybody, and I got great inspiration from them.
Did your wife like that song?
She did not. She doesn't like anything I do. She says all my songs suck.
How many years have you been married?
Too damn long, Britt.
So she's allowed to say that.
Yeah,
then?
absolutely.
And you're allowed to ignore and keep doing it.
yeah, man. I just keep on forging ahead. Yeah, but I'm very proud of my children because they're not as critical.
They give Pops a little bit of slack, huh?
They do. They
That's-
do. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So you had asked me about my songs, and so yeah, I'm going to put them up on Spotify. Being a late bloomer and everything else too. Being a late bloomer into music and everything else, I just thought, well, I got to. My bucket list is to put them down. And so I went into the recording studio and remembered as much as I could. Went in the basement, got all my notes out and everything, my sketches of my music that I have. Sketches meaning, of course, the lyrics and some chords and shabby this and shit. Put it all together and start separating it. And this is my culmination of all my songs after
That's amazing.
40 years.
Over 40
stored
years of
music,
it.
Yeah.
And so on Spotify, you'll be able to find this.
Yes,
eventually.
that's correct. Spotify, and we're on Facebook, Jimmy and the Giants.
Jimmy and the Giants
Yes,
on Facebook.
that's Facebook.
So if they want to find you, they can find you. Jimmy and the Giants on Facebook.
Yep.
Spotify, they can find you.
Jimmy Sai.
Jimmy
on that
Sai,
one.
Saia.
Yes, there's a trucking company, big trucking company from the South called Sai Trucking Company, which I am not related to, unfortunately.
You just got your teacher's pension.
Yeah, I do have that. Very small, but
Well,
I worked
teacher.
for it, Brett.
It's a teacher. Trust me, they all do.
Yeah,
all teachers do.
My goodness.
One of the hardest jobs out there.
It is.
It definitely is. I used to be
That
a
and
teacher.
being a parent. Used
yes.
to be.
That's why I'm
Wow.
sitting here now. Now, different life, different podcast, different
right.
radio show.
Okay. Wow.
But it's
Yeah.
Jimmy. In the time we've connected over this past
Yeah.
year, you've been very inspirational to me with the music
thank
you've written. How you keep coming back and are so positive each time we talk. That
Thank
means
you.
so much to me.
Thank you.
So before we go, if you could tell our listeners, one thing they should be a voice for. What is it they should be a voice for, Jimmy?
I think that people should be a voice for hopefulness, and they should help each other out and live positively, because resolutions don't stick. What really sticks is your constant attitude about life and how you treat others. I believe very much into karma.
I love it. Me too. I love it. Hopefulness. So that, there you go, people. If you could be a voice for anything, Jimmy says be a voice for hopefulness.
Yes,
Jimmy,
sir.
this has been an amazing hour.
Thank you, Britt.
Thank you for
Same
joining
here.
me today in the
Yes.
studio.
My pleasure, sir.
This is a great way to go into 2020 for
Yep.
sure.
Excellent.
If you have not checked him out yet, Jimmy Saia, Saia, is out there. The song he wrote is called "Won't Give Up on You." Check it out. Jimmy and the Giants on Facebook. Everybody, thank you for always showing up each and every week with me. Thanks for being a part of what I do, and thanks for being a voice. Happy 2020 to you all, and I'll talk to you real soon. This is Britt Carpenter on Usula Radio. Have a great rest of your day.
There's a lot of fear in coming back to school. I wasn't sure if I could do it. I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma. It was very hard for me, but the teachers, the counselors, they help you. One of the teachers was Miss Araceli. Miss Araceli, she gave me direction. Every single time I had a question, she'll put down whatever she's doing and she'll come over and she'll sit there with you until you get it.
Thank you, Miss Araceli. I know you make a difference in people's lives because of the person and teacher you are. I wanted to be here because I wanted to thank you for helping me get a beautiful gift.
50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work. Getting your high school diploma, it is a life-changing experience. It really is.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.